A bit of a scare when it comes to one of the players Man United is most linked with, Mathijs Ligt. Well, it has been reported coming through right now straight from Germany, where he is for the ongoing Euros with the Dutch national team. Reports are suggesting that he has been seen training away from the Dutch first team squad because of an injury. Now, this doesn't look good. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's my job to give it to you as it comes. Welcome to the Netted Sport. Like, share, and subscribe as we do get into our evening update on the channel. Just go down into the comment section and drop your comment. Now, there has been a concern that has just broken about the fitness of Mathijs Ligt, as there's been an image that they claim to be to have come from just from today from the Dutch national team training facility in Germany, where they are for the Euros, suggesting that he has been seen training by himself because he's injured because of a complaint. Now, these are normal things in football, but of course, for they say once bitten, twice shy. I mean, we've been suffering with injuries before. We have got a bad history recently of signing players with injuries, which is not good at all. We know that Mathijs Ligt has had a few injuries ever since he joined Bayern. In fact, since he left Ajax to Juventus and then Bayern, he has had a few injury setbacks here and there. Well, there could be a concern with that, but like I've told you before, I personally I'm willing to rely on the team Ineos have put in place to be able to ensure that we avoid signing injury-prone players. So whereas this scare is there, maybe it's the usual injury scares that happen to players, but that's an update that you needed to know. So as the talks are ongoing for a move of Mathijs Ligt, of course, we know he will be subject to a medical, but you need to know that as the talks are ongoing with Rafaela, he is not fully fit as a player. He's not 100% fit as we speak. He's training by himself. Should we proceed and place in the bid, the offer, because that was the plan soon before the end of this week for Manchester United to be making an official bid to try and get the player? Or should we wait until he's fully fit? You can drop down in the comment section and let me know what you think, whether you're one of those, you're a bit worried now because of the history we've had. We've signed players who were not 100% fit. That's the situation. Mason Mount is one of them. Amrabat, when he came, he was a struggle. But away from that, I believe for me, it's nothing for us to be so worried about. Honestly, I think it can't be a long-term thing. I think it's one of those usual injuries that players get. Of course, Gary O'Driscoll and his team should know. But I was thinking about the whole Mathijs Ligt signing and Joshua Zirkzee, who is also expected to be joining in. And we can get these two players each for £34 million. Now, that would be a total of £68 million. Honestly, for me, what a bargain that would be. I think for me, that would be a big bargain for Manchester United because these are two players who are close to world class. These are players who are close to world class. Of course, you cannot say exactly that about Joshua Zirkzee because he has not really played for a top club. He's not even starting for his national team, but they are close. I think in terms of what we've seen, their capabilities. I think the two guys are close to world class. Now, in this day and age, when players go for £100 and stuff, if we can get these two players, 23 and 24 years of age, for £34 million each, for me, it's a bargain. And that's why Ineos might be wanting to quicken these moves so that they seal them and move on to the next because they are proper bargains for Manchester United. And the beauty is, at least we are sure that Mathijs Ligt, for at least with him, we are sure he wants Manchester United. In fact, he is for exclusive negotiations with Man United. So you think about that amount and you're thinking this is a proper bargain for Manchester United. But other players that we've been linked with, again, we spoke about Jared Brantwaite, who we think is overpriced. We spoke about Joao Neves, who is overpriced. And these are some of the things we need Ineos to sort. We need to be bringing in players for the right fee. We cannot be ripped off again. So for me, I think about that, and I feel like we are in a good place, especially if these players are fit. Now, the fitness issue, like I said, is one we can think about later. We can worry about that's not us to worry about. I mean, by the time we are pointing at them and we proceed, move ahead to sign them, we should be certain that they are 100% fit. But for me, 34 million quid for both for each is a bargain. And this should be 100. Ordinarily, this should be 20 or so million pounds players, the two of them in this market, £60 million each, or 50-50, £100 million players. I think That's how I would rate them. So I feel like we are getting a good deal for both of these kids, and then their wages, because 12 million pounds a year for Mathis Delete, and I'm sure Joshua Zirkzee would be earning not more than 60,000 pounds a week or thereabout. 60 or 70 or 80 at most thousand pounds per week. Think about that, how much you are spending on him. I don't think that's a lot of money. So you look at the whole cost of these two players, and I think it gives us more money to spend on other players because we've got so many departments to sort. We need to be able to save every single penny we can keep for ourselves because of what we are headed for. So I feel like it's a good thing. Now Victor Lindelof is almost edging closer to his exit. He has been training for the most part of today because, of course, he's linked away. He's linked with a move away from Manchester United. He has been training. Of course, United players always train. Ineos trains, Amrabat training, Brantwaite training, Delete training, and all these players. So the other one who has been training is Lindelof because he's edging closer to his exit. Man United have been clear; they are open to receiving offers for him and Harry Maguire. But I've been looking at the stats of both of the defenders at Man United now and Mathis Delete, Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans, and Mathis Delete. And it's interesting that he's, I think, besides the duels, has won more duels than most of them. I think there are players like Harry Maguire and Evans who are better than him. For example, have better stats than him. For example, in I think it headers, in headers and tackles. And I'm thinking, well, doesn't look good, but I think it all goes down to his style of play. I think he's a more versatile because he averages good numbers in every facet of a center back in terms of winning aerial duels, in terms of tackles, in terms of passing, which I think makes him a more complete player. Because again, I saw people in the comment section trying to bash him, saying that if Harry Maguire is a better head of the ball than him and stuff, why then are we going for him and letting go of Harry Maguire? I think it's us that's being a bit short sighted because I feel like Delete is a more complete package of a footballer, and he passes the ball more. One of the biggest weaknesses of Harry Maguire is the carrying the ball and passing it and being comfortable with the ball on his feet. It's a big weakness for him. And you think Delete, given his profile of having played midfield before, he proper balances that up and gives us, I think, a good another extra body that can be added onto the midfield when it has to. So I think for me those stats that are beginning to trend around shouldn't be reason for us to sit back and say, are we bringing in the right player? But remember that we are also contemplating bringing in another centre back. And like I've told you, Jared Brantwaite is trending, and this is probably because Man United are almost contemplating taking back a second bid for him. And well, the bid the bid has not been taken yet, and it should not be taken. The second bid shouldn't go. I'm one of those who feel like Brantwaite is not worth that amount of money, but he's an English player. I also know that English players are expensive. Perhaps they've got every right to sell their own for a lot. But Brantwaite is trending because, I mean, Everton are now being put under pressure to make a decision. The reason why United are yet to take a second bid is because they want a response from Everton on whether they are willing to listen to a lower offer than 70 million pounds that were stuck onto. Now, United are saying they have given themselves, I think, up to the end of this week. If the Everton are still not clear, if they're not also still responding about how low they are willing to go when it comes to Brantwaite, then Man United will just pack their bags and look elsewhere. The reality is the list is there, and that is what Ineos have done right. Put together a long list of options. But with Man United, as it looks, if we look at the current transfers and and how the rumors that are ongoing, not rumors, some of them are almost closed. And the talk that is ongoing concerning transfers, uh, I think Man United is likely to have a backline of Luke Shaw. Shaw seems to be in the plans. Eric Ten Hag was waxing lyric about him. Lisandro Martinez, Delete, and Dalot on the right. We are linked to Jeremy Frimpong before, but it doesn't seem like we are so moved by him. Not anymore. At least not in this summer. Ugarte, Kobe Mainu, Bruno Fernandes, Hoyland up top, Garnacho, and Rashford. Some feel he would stay, but there have been images trending now of him in an as if, because I've told you that rumor came up again. That is just this week. I think yesterday it came up again of him being linked to Arsenal and having secret talks with Mikel Arteta. But I feel like there can be a significant improvement in the squad, especially if we get a good left back, because we are certainly going to get a centre back and a holding midfielder. On the left is where I still have disquiets about Luke Shaw and his fitness. I'm not certain he's 100% and ready to come back playing, but it looks like Man United will have a decent squad by the time we go into preseason. I think I've got the confidence. Let's wait and see what is going to happen in the coming days. But the only big scare I wanted to drop to you today is the fact that Ligt is training by himself with the Dutch national team. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you later.